30 million Americans are now online, but few of them are making money. Alan Meckler is, and he's not in the computer business. Where's all this online technology going? Who will be the big winners and losers? And will there come a day when you'll absolutely have to be online? Will it be easy and cheap? With me now is Alan Meckler, CEO of Meckler Media. His company publishes several magazines about the internet and the web, and it holds trade shows around the world that display the latest online technology.
We see a variety of companies from all over the world, primarily the United States, because the internet is primarily an American industry at this point. And what they're doing is showing existing product, but also what we would call beta product, and that's product that they're hoping to bring out or planning to bring out over the next few months. And this is a wonderful test bed for them to have business-to-business people coming in, looking at it, making comments. A lot of alliances are formed at this show, and the show, Fall Internet World, is also used by companies to make announcements of new products.
Mm-hmm. So it's swarming with people hoping to get a jump on their competitors?
Both on their competitors or to form alliances. And that's, you see, the extraordinary thing about the internet. I think for the first time in history, we're seeing alliances being formed that we haven't seen before between competitive companies, primarily because the internet is moving so quickly and the changes are happening so rapidly that it's better to collaborate with perhaps a former enemy than to lose out entirely.
And tell me how the internet is really going to affect business in a radical way over the next decade.
The way the internet will do this is, again, because of the ability to get information out inexpensively and rapidly, and to make the small businessman in many ways as powerful as a more sophisticated or powerful company. But the big thing is it's going to shrink the world, because your competitors will be not just locally or regionally. They could be in Jakarta, they could be in Singapore. And what you basically have is no loyalty any longer to where you used to buy your products from. If you're buying copper wire, you're going to be able to find out fairly rapidly that someone in Australia has it. And if you plan your time appropriately for shipping, it may be that you can save significant money, whereas you never used to think about this before.
So it's going to eliminate a lot of middlemen. A lot of sales jobs are going to go sailing out the window.
Yes, but by the same token, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities, because thousands upon thousands of businesses are going to be formed in and around the internet to handle the transactions, to handle the shipping, and all the other parameters.
Okay, I want to set up a website. Here it is, Adam Smith's website. We actually had somebody design one last year.
And then we have a number of movies, so we can click on this movie, and this movie will pop up.
Adam Smith has the answer. He's one of the leading financial thinkers of our time, the author of bestsellers like The Money Game, Super Money, and The Roaring '80s, and the star of the long-running Emmy Award-winning PBS television series.
And then we have another one down here.
Adam Smith has spent decades making the world of commerce interesting and fun.
How does anybody know it's there? All these people have computers. They turn on their computers, says, hello, what do you want to do today? How do they even know it's on? Yesterday I wasn't on, today I am on. How does anybody know?
Well, this is the great dilemma, and again, it's a term that I use is Darwinian. The strong are going to survive, but because of the nature of the internet, it can be hundreds of thousands of them. The way it's going to survive, or the way people are going to know about it, is because if you have good content, if you have good information, then people will find you, because that information spreads by something which I've mentioned called word of net. Also because if one knows how to use the internet properly as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, you learn how to link your site into the different search vehicles that people use to find information. Take the website of Meckler Media Corporation. We're linked to over 10,000 different vehicles or other websites. And the other thing is that it is late in the game to create a powerful brand. This is similar to starting TV networks. Take a look what Rupert Murdoch did. He came along and very late in the game and created a fabulous, the Fox network, now an equal in essence to the others. But wouldn't that have been a lot easier to do in 1953 or 54? There were a lot of people who had the money, but they didn't see the light. Look what his cost was versus the cost of starting a network then. You must look at websites in exactly the same way. The difference is that websites, to be successful, must be what I use the term is extraordinarily vertical. The more topics that are covered by a website, the less likely that you can do the job so that people will want to spend their time on your site.
So you shouldn't cover a lot of topics on a website.
Absolutely.
You should cover one topic on a website.
And do it better than anybody else. For example, if you were very interested in automotive and you had an automotive magazine, just being an automotive magazine and saying we do automotive, you're not going to have necessarily the best website. If you wanted to cover just Ferraris, you could do a better job than I could trying to cover all the brands.
Except that only a very small number of people are only interested in just Ferraris.
But this is exactly my point. This is quality viewership is going to be much more important than just people passing through. If you're the Ferrari website and you decide that not only are you going to have information about every auction, you're going to have a columnist every day that will rotate periodically talking about rallies for Ferraris, auction items, used equipment, and this is going to attract, even if it only attracts 20,000 people a week, by doing a demographical study, you're probably going to find out the average person who looks at this has a household income of $275,000.
Well, you've picked a juicy example, haven't you?
But you see, that should happen for batteries, it should happen for CDs, it should happen, in our case, for the business of the internet. It should happen for antique boats. It could happen for pottery. It could happen for almost anything. And I think one of the great opportunities that we're going to see is that people who have avocations for the first time are going to be able to create businesses as a part-time job, which could ultimately evolve into a full-time business because of the internet, by creating a website such as this, doing it on the side, building up that following, and then all of a sudden have a commercial success.
Meckler sees some possible winners in the Internet Derby that are not household names today.
It seems to me that because the internet is new and right now nobody owns it, nobody totally has their arms around it, such as Microsoft, let's say, has with the desktop and PC publishing, that companies like Accent Software, which is actually an Israeli company that trades here, which has translation software, so that you could have a website where you have information in English, and with Accent Software, you would be able to translate that information so that someone could read it in Spanish or French. Obviously, a lot of investment still has to be made to make this work concretely, but that's a very interesting company. There's a very interesting company called Forefront, which has various types of software which help people use the internet. Now, this is an extraordinarily competitive arena, and what you think is significant one day can be totally out of vogue 6 months later. There's a very interesting company called Firefly. Firefly has software on their website, and it asks you a series of questions, so that not only will it enable you to find the types of things that you like, whether hobbies or whatever, but it actually will give you contacts of people not only in the United States, but around the world who have the same interests that you have.
So you turn on your computer, and it says, hello, what are you interested in? When you put fly fishing, you type it in.
Correct.
And then it goes and looks for things for you.
That's right. And
so it's like a big yellow pages, isn't it?
Well, that's one of my themes, is that the internet will have the same impact, or a greater impact than the telephone and the yellow pages combined. The way I thought, there's an amazing statistic also that came out. Intel commissioned a study not too long ago, which asked people born after 1971, where did they think by the year 2000 they were going to get their information? What was going to be the primary source? 59% said the internet.